serious, it's time to stop dreaming and start living. Live your dreams. Embrace every culture, every background, every perspective. Are you ready to stop talking about the life you want and start taking action? She's Serious is a movement for women from all cultures and backgrounds who are done playing small and ready to take control of their financial future, their freedom, and their legacy. It's time to invest in you and turn your dreams into reality. As a travel business owner, you have the potential to generate up to 8 streams of income, own your own home-based business, and live life on your own terms. Whether you want to travel the world, create a flexible lifestyle, or secure a future for your family, She's Serious is your path to making it happen. Why join multiple streams of income? Earn while building a business you're passionate about. Travel opportunities, unlock exclusive travel experiences, financial freedom, break free from the 9 to 5 grind, and live on your own terms. Create a legacy, leave something valuable behind for the next generation. Take the next step. Join She's Serious and start living the life you've always dreamed of, no matter your background or culture. It's time to get serious about your future, unleash your potential, and build your legacy.
Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys know what time it is. It is time to go live. We're doing 12 days of Christmas, right? But this day, day 4, is interview with a leader. It's a little bit different because it actually made me think, oh, something we used to do back in the day. The last time we did it was August of 2023. So it's been about a couple of years. Real Talk with Real Women Grinding. Y'all remember our show? So that made me to bring that back just by this one right here, where we're able to interview leaders. And in my case, I love to interview phenomenal boss queens, the ladies who are making it happen in the travel industry. So for the next few weeks until the end of December, every Thursday around the same time, same back channel, we're going to be featuring a different phenom. Yep. In the travel industry. So we have never done that before. So that was one thing from this 12 days of Christmas that I was extremely, extremely happy with. So I want to go ahead and get into it, and I want to introduce you to the young lady who is going to be our next interviewee, right? This young lady, I'm telling you, is a devoted wife. She's a proud mom of 2. When I tell you 2 handsome sons, right? And she a loving Oma. And if you like, I want to say in layman's term, is a Jima, a grandma. Yes, she is. And she is also that individual who leads with her family. Like, her family is everything to her. So the same excellence she brings to her business, it's the same excellence she brings to her family. She's a 3-star director, and you guys don't know what that means, but I'm about to tell you what that means. In essence, she remarkably created a 6-figure income to start on their entrepreneurship journey, not by her. She's making over $100,000. And now she got to show up. If you don't know what residual is, just think about what royalties means, right? And so she is one of the top 500 income earners in our Sorry about that, y'all. Technical difficulty, but we're back to our scheduled program. And let me move myself out of the way and make up this time and bring up none other than three-star director, my lovely mentor and coach, Lynn Hendricks. Come on, work with me.
Hey there.
Yes, boy, I'm telling you. Whew. Technology is
Technology,
great.
honey, technology.
I'm telling you, kick me all the way out, y'all. All the
I was
way
sitting
out.
there, I was like, is it me? I was trying to make sure that my connection was going to be good. I was like, is this me? And I wasn't sure at first, but yeah, we are good. It's all good.
Awesome. So, Lynn, I just filled them in on a little bit about who you are, but I didn't want to take your thunder and steal all of it away from you. So, go ahead, introduce to the people, tell them who you are.
Okay, well, first, I just want to thank you so very much for inviting me onto your platform and, talk to your followers and your listeners and your watchers. And so I really appreciate it. And, folks, people that have been following you know how incredibly awesome you are, but you are such a special person to me and have been, for such a long time. And so I'm just so appreciative and honored to be here with you. But yeah, I mean, you said it. I'm a wife, I'm a mom of two sons, proudly known as Oma to my grandbabies, and the I guess the real story for me is, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon like many of us, right? Like I was a teen mom at 16, and I did all the things I thought I was supposed to do, go to school, get a great job, all those things. And at some point I found myself, really struggling financially. You know what I'm saying? I went through foreclosure, repossession, bankruptcy, homelessness, all as a single mom of two, And so when you go through that and like, what it feels like to feel like, I'm smart, I'm hardworking, right? And still feel stuck. And so for years, I did all the things that, we were taught to do, and felt like I was playing by the rules, building someone else's dream. And then I realized, God didn't put me here just to pay bills and die. So I'm, just so proud of and excited about being in this business that we're in, being attached to over 500 families and, helping people be able to launch their own businesses. My passion really is helping women, helping families use travel and I would say entrepreneurship, right, to create options, to create more time, more money, more memories, with the people that they love. So that's me.
No, I don't want to. Oh, there. Oh, now I'm live. Listen, technology jumping from one device onto another device, like I'm over it. But we're going to finish this. We're going to finish this. Hi, Director Gloria Summersall. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I want to do a special thanks to my who's been patient in this, because she was on a roll, y'all, when she started, and I was just like, I don't think they count all of that. So back at you, Lynn Hendricks. Back at you.
And it's funny because I was like, so at first I was like, is she stuck? Because I didn't know if you were just sitting patiently waiting for me to finish. And then I was like, I don't think she blinked. So I'm like, I think she's not. I think she might be stuck. I'll finish by just saying, you know what? I'm a person that's big on identity work, right? Not just strategy. So I feel like, shifting women from what if I fail to even if I fail, right? I still will rise, right? So my goal is teaching people how to leverage this industry to build freedom and legacy, and not just a little side hustle money, right? So I'm excited to dig into the real story behind all of that, and hopefully give someone that's watching permission to reinvent themselves as well.
Thank you so much for that. Listen, you guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into this. One of my first questions, Director Lynn Hendricks, before technology decides that it don't want to take us to the right place, is that, at one point in time, you really did fire your boss at the tender age of 45, right? And with that being said, that probably was not a moment that was intentionally planned, because you were in corporate America. Mm-hmm. And so your mind was on your career. You were doing things. You were doing great in the corporate world. Sales was your jam. And so when that happened in your life, where you were in a position where you could fire your boss and then transition to become one of the top 10 income earners doing what we do now in our profession, what was the mindset shift that you had during that time, or the defining moment that made you realize that you're not going back, but you're going to build your own path? You're going to find your own way.
That's a good question. And I think for me, I don't know that there was a moment, right? I feel like it was a buildup, because I was that great employee. I was checking all the boxes, I was getting bonuses. I was winning awards at different times in my career. I was a person that would show up early, stay late, but at the same time, still feeling capped. You know what I'm saying? And so I really feel like that defining time was, and I think this happens for a lot of people, and hopefully sooner rather than later, if it does happen for you, right? You kind of look at your life and you think, if I keep doing this for the next 10 years, what really changes? Right? And I was pouring all my energy into a job that would replace me in 2 weeks, right? And I think ultimately understanding, and maybe I had known it for a while, but ultimately really coming to that realization and receiving it, that I already had it. God had already given me all the gifts that I needed that could change my entire bloodline. I already had it. And so at some point, the question had to shift from what if this doesn't work to what if I never even give myself a real shot? Right. And I think that was it. Like, tired of being scared to step out, tired of being scared to do more, tired of playing small, and just finally deciding, I'd rather be uncomfortable building my own path than comfortable in a life that just did not fit me anymore. So I think, for me, I wasn't, and I'm not bashing jobs, right? I want to make sure I'm clear on that, because when people are like, oh, my job's killing me. No, your job is feeding you, right? And so continue to do that, but put yourself in position, which is, because I stayed at my job for a while and started doing this on a part-time basis so that I could give my family options, right? And so I did this not out of rage, but out of revelation. I finally understood, I'm the CEO of my life, and I just refuse to keep asking for permission to be free.
What? Y'all heard that? Let me hold on. That's the CEO of my own life, and I'm not asking for permission to be free. I usually have my pen right here because I knew she was going to drop these nuggets, let me write this down. I am the CEO. I am tired of asking permission
to be free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna write that down for y'all too, so y'all don't get it. No worries, I got it. I got y'all. No problem. So with that being said, that brings us into, you are one of the top income earners. You have an organization of well over 500 individuals, families, individuals that you have personally sponsored 80 of them, and you're still 80 plus now, I believe. And so what leadership principles have been the most essential in helping those families have that mindset that you just shared with us, being where you're the CEO and you're tired, of asking for freedom, to help them go towards financial freedom?
It's interesting because this really, being with this company, this is really my first real entry into leadership. Like in my past career, I've managed people, I've supervised people, but that's a completely different thing, right? And so, being a leader, it's taught me a lot. And one of the things, I feel like a few principles never change though, right? So the first thing I would say is, my goal is always to lead from the front, right? Never asking my team to do something that I'm not willing to do. So if I'm saying, invite, present, follow up, learn the presentation, get to the front of the room, do a travel party, talk to people, trust me, I'm doing it too, right? Because people don't follow titles, they follow examples. So they're not following the 3-star director, they're following the person that is doing it. And so that's the first thing I would say. I guess the second thing is, I don't see reps, I see people, right? And so, every person that they're tied to a real family, to real bills, real goals, real dreams, and I think that when you remember that, then you lead with more compassion, more humility, more responsibility. I guess the next thing I would say is, and this about me, I'm big on systems, right? Over, some superwoman energy, right? Like, because I know that I don't want people dependent on me, right? I want people to be independent, and when I have a new person that partners with me, one of the things that I tell them is, I want you to be independent of me as quickly as possible, right? So I want them dependent on a system that they can plug into and a system that they can duplicate. And that's how you scale freedom. And then the last thing I guess I would say is, I mix love with accountability, right? So I love hard, but I also hold people accountable. So I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. I'm going to pray for you. All those things. I'm going to love on you, but I'm also going to remind you of the standard that you said you wanted. And so my job as a leader is to hold up the mirror to your potential until you can see it for yourself.
Y'all heard that? Her goal as a leader to hold up the mirror until you see. Oh, I'm writing that down to y'all. I got y'all. I got you. My goal as a leader is to hold up the mirror. Hold up the mirror until you can see it yourself.
Because, we say all the time, like, a lot of times people get started and their belief isn't strong yet, right? And we tell them to borrow ours.
Yes, indeed. Until you get there. That means, so with that segue into winning at a high level, because as one of the top income earners and you have won multiple awards, maintaining this kind of excellence isn't easy by any chance. But what are those daily habits are non-negotiables? Because you said you love hard, but hey, accountability. So what are those non-negotiables along with them daily habits that keep you consistent at performing at this high level with over 500 plus people?
Like I've heard someone say before, you don't reach the top of the mountain by accident, right? Like you have to plan for that to happen. And I feel like excellence is the same thing. Excellence is not an accident. It's a habit, right? And so it's one of those things, it's like a muscle and it gets stronger as you use it, right? And so I guess there are a few, you mentioned non-negotiables. So I guess non-negotiables, I would say that, that keep me aligned. And probably first, how I start my day. And before being able to pour into someone else, I have to fill my own cup, right? Whether that's prayer, gratitude, mindset work. I love getting on our IMV in the morning. I mean, for years, like that was like, even if I had meetings, like it didn't matter. Like that was how I needed to start my day because it was such good stuff. And so you have to find a way to, to start your day in a way that you're starting out full, because if you're pouring out all day long, pouring into other people, you have to start out, with a full cup. The other thing that I would say is, every single day I touch my business on purpose. I talk to people and some folks, they'll go hard. Janae, you know this, like they'll go hard in the paint for like 3 days and then MIA for a week, right? It's that consistency every single day. I touch my business on purpose. That means real income producing activity, inviting, presenting, following up, coaching, right? Not just making some cute graphics and posting it on Facebook and calling that work, right? If it doesn't move the needle, it might be a nice to do, but that's not the priority. Also, I guess, I live by my calendar, so that's important. If it's not on the calendar, it does not exist. And partly that's also because of, this menopause brain I got going on, but also it's also partly due to being intentional with my time, right? And so I know, when I first got started, I had to get the buy-in from my husband, from my family, because I put a lot of time into, building the business. And it paid off because now I get to spend so much more time. My time is my own, and I get to not have to trade my time for dollars, and I get to spend so much more time with my family. And I love the fact that I am able to protect time for my marriage, protect time for my family, protect time for my business, so none of them feel like they're getting my leftovers. And then lastly, I protect my energy. I post all the time, your circle matters. I'm very, very, very intentional about who I allow in my circle, who I allow to speak into me. I'm intentional about who I allow to pray for me. I can't afford negative energy around me and then be able to expect to show up as a leader at a high level. So I'm very, very intentional about protecting my energy.
Say that again for the people in the back. Did y'all hear that? Protect your peace. Protect your energy. Peace surpasses all understanding. If you don't have no peace, your mind is chaotic. And where there's chaos, there's nothing.
Absolutely.
Like a confused mind does nothing. A chaotic mind does nothing. So thank you for sharing it and putting it out there, because I think a lot of entrepreneurs, particularly women, because we are mothers, because we are daughters, because we're sisters, we're aunties, we're cousins, we're all of these things to everybody else. But the key thing you said is we're pouring into other people's cup, but who pours into our cup? And the first thing you said is, hey, I plug into an inspirational morning vitamin that we have every morning, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. for a good 15 to 20 minutes to hear good, positive energy poured into me, where you're listening, you're the listener, and you're receiving and getting fed, which is helping you to start off your day so that you can help feed others. But still, at the end of the day, y'all, peace.
And I hear a lot of people, it is unfortunate because I hear a lot of people talk about not having positive people in their circle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear so many people saying, like, the people that are in their circle, they're draining, or they're not, they're not cheering for them. They're not encouraging, that sort of stuff. And at the end of the day, if you don't like the circle you're in, like, if you can't change your circle, you got to change your circle.
Mm-hmm. But I think, though, some people feel like it's a hard thing to do. But what do we tell people? Look at the circle that you're in, and it depends on what's for you, because money is not for everybody, but money does make the world go round. And it's how you use it. So in the case, it is one of those things that's going to drive you. So when you're looking at your circle and you're having that hard time figuring out whether or not you need to leave the circle, just look at your circle's bank accounts and see whether or not you would want to switch with your circle bank account. This is just one little small thing that can possibly help you get started in making a decision to make that exchange. Because negativity and being broke at the same time, what is that doing for you?
Yeah.
That is
I think sometimes people feel like, oh, it's my mom, it's my sister, it's my, you know what I mean? And I think when you have that familiarity, you feel like you're bound to these people. And I don't care who it is. Like, when I tell you, I wouldn't allow, like, my mama to have access to me if her energy wasn't right. It doesn't make a difference to me who it is. Your energy has to be right, because I am so intentional about making sure that I'm protecting my energy, my peace, because, if I don't, then it goes over into the other people in my life, right? Like, if I don't protect my energy and my circle, and I'll allow it to affect me, then now that affects my husband, that affects my sons, it affects my grandsons. You know what I'm saying? Like,
man, I definitely understand. We're going to wrap this up with legacy and impact. And when I say legacy and impact, I'm really specifically, because you are that wife. So it's good segue. You're the wife. You are that mom, bonus mom, Oma. And, you're in the business of changing lives, period. That's what you do. That's your servant heart. But what legacy do you hope your family and your organization will remember you by 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now? What would that be for you?
Well, you said remember me by 30 years from now. I hope 30 years from now, they're not still trying to remember me. I hope I'm still here in 30 years, but in 50, 60, 80 years from now, I'll take that one. Okay. So, I guess, as far as my family, talking about me decades from now, I don't just want them to say she made money. I want them to say she broke patterns.
That's good.
I want them to remember that, Oma was the one who decided it stops here. Right? It was Oma that was like, no, the struggle, the settling, we just gonna get by mentality. Like, I want my grandbabies to grow up knowing, what options feel like. And
Nice.
so, that's the reason why, like, already now we're taking trips together. We're having those experiences with their parents, mom, dad present, like, not just exhausted. And for, I would say, even for our team, for our organization, like, I want people to remember, I didn't just teach them how to build a business, right? I taught them how to build wealth. I taught them how to build themselves. I was the leader who looked them in the eye and said, you're not crazy for wanting more. This is what you are called to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, there's so many times that people around us that are not, like, whether it's friends or family members that kind of look at what we do and think, you're crazy for that. No, you're not crazy for wanting more. Like, this is what you're called to do. And so I feel like my legacy is about permission and possibility. And, one person can say yes to reinvention, and an entire bloodline and community can change because of it.
Oh, permission and possibility. P&P. That's what I'm gonna remember, y'all. P&P, permission and possibilities. They should just give us a great tagline to remember her 80 years from now. 80 years, 80 years. on her stone, or on her on remember Director Lynn Hendricks. Permission and possibilities. P&P. I love it. I love it. Listen, I really do appreciate you, despite all the technical difficulty, for coming in and sharing with each and everyone powerful, phenomenal women who actually can do it no matter what they started and how they started. That's not what the story is about. Remember, everybody's the author or the star of their own, and you being a star of yours. I definitely just wanted people to understand where you came from, where you are now, and where you're headed, because you didn't let that define who you were, and you actually turned around and allowed that to be your foundation to grow you even more. And from that, from what I see, you have allowed that to help others like myself and 500 other close people to be able to say, hey, it's not where we come from, it's not where we started, it's where we're at right now and where we're going. So
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for that. You guys, y'all know what the deal is. We like likes, we like hearts, and we like sharing, because sharing is caring. And today, if no one told you that you're loved, we love you. And there's absolutely nothing you can do but simply love us back. And if no one gave you a hug today, this is just a little small exercise. So come on, do it with me, Director Hendricks.
Okay, I'm ready.
Raise your hands in the air. Now wave them like you just don't care. Now freeze. Now take this right hand right here and put it on this left shoulder. Take this left hand right here and put it on your right shoulder, and give yourself a big old squeeze. Consider you guys hugged and loved for the rest of your day. All right, take care, be blessed, and we truly appreciate you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.